guys, welcome to Clockwork Noodles for your midway review of the fall season 2023. I am Becca of Clockwork Noodles. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and a big hello to all of the new fans out there because the channel has grown because of Apothecary Diaries. Huge amount of appreciation for that show because you guys really love the show. I love the show and I've really enjoyed breaking it down. We have gained some new noodlings to the Noodle Bowl. Welcome to the community, which I am slowly building. I've got new things on the line coming your way. Thank you so much for your continued support. Before we get going, I am sick. I probably sound really bad, but I really wanted to get this video out the way and not delayed. It's been a very interesting season. We've had a lot of shows popping up out of nowhere. I am going to be omitting Attack on Titan from the list because as of when I'm making this video, it's been out 3 days. I don't think I really want to pop it on my list just yet because it doesn't feel right. Maybe it'll creep into the finals, not sure, but for just the sake of this one, I am omitting it. In this video, we are breaking down the top 3 OPs, EDs, current standing animes. These are, of course, dependent on what I'm watching, so if you are wondering where Goblin Slayer is, it's just not a show I've ever really gotten into, so it's not going to be on the list at any point. My list will not match your list. It's just going to be a nice little deep dive into what I'm thinking of the things that I have seen. A slight twist on this Midway's OPs, EDs winners. There are going to be 2 winners of each category. One's going to be my favourite personal song, just a song I really enjoy. It can have a roll credits type thing going on. It's just a favourite song. And there's going to be the main winner, which is a good song and a good construction. So what's going on in the OP? How have they made it? Have they put any effort in? A lot of the times, if you're watching my reviews, I will sometimes sin shows for just rolling credits, not really doing much of their outros or anything. Thank you so much. I hope you guys are doing well. This week's video question, because we always do those questions, which you guys are really enjoying, and I am so thankful that that has actually taken off because I enjoy asking them. I enjoy looking at your answers. Allows me to have a bit more of a connection with you guys. What is your favourite movie franchise? One shifts a lot. I am a very big Lord of the Rings fan. According to when you ask me, I will say Lord of the Rings. Everything I've always wanted in the movie, and the fact that there are extended versions as well, which you can just do so much with, I really enjoyed. Do not like The Hobbit, I'm afraid. I'm not keen on the Netflix one, The Rings of Power, either, but I don't really watch too many movies. I am going to give a good old shout out to Into the Spider-Verse. I love it. I love it so much. I'm not really a big comic fan. I'm not really big into like my Marvel or anything. I adore the Into the Spider-Verse work because I guess it is very close to being anime style. It's going to flick between my OG Lord of the Rings and probably Into the Spider-Verse. Without further ado, let's get straight into the OPs. We're going to start with an honourable mention, and that's going to go to the Apothecary Diaries. I love this show. You guys love this show. It seems fair that we're going to start with a nod in this direction. The OP is nice, the song is nice, but there's not too much going on. I think it really suits the show. I think it really sets things up. There's a lot of very nice animation in this OP. The OP itself, I think, carries the vibe of the show, really does set you up. In general, I just think it's a solid OP for a show. There's just a bit more going on with some of the other entries on the list, so it is going to have an honourable mention. In third position, we're going to go to Spy X Family, which has to be the lowest for a Spy X OP we've had. It's not my favourite OP. There's a lot going on, and I've broken it down properly in my Spy X video, so go check that out. I'm not keen on the big feet thing, and I've seen a few other people go, I'm not also keen on this shot. I don't understand the shot. It looks really weird. It puts me off. I don't know why. The song is amazing. Can't fault the song whatsoever. Fantastic work by, I think it's Ado. I love the song. Song is fantastic, but we're not here to measure just songs. Otherwise, it would be in my Becca's favourite songs spot, but it's not. Something else is sat in that spot. I think Spy X Family's entry is great. They always have very good OPs. It's just not my favourite OP out of the ones that they've given us so far. In second place, we're going to go to Miggy and Dali. Oh my god, this show, man. I've got so much to say about this show, but the OP is amazing. It sets up the mystery, it sets up that twisty nature. It's a very WTF anime in general, so the OP really fits. You've got a lot of flicking going on. You've got a lot of, these are the 2 twins. There's a lot of subtle differences between the 2 as well, so you can kind of see them in the OP. I love the way that it's done in a very illusion-y type manner. It carries that very creepy, unsettling vibe of the whole show. Honestly, I am very happy to place this in second place because I love this OP. This OP is solid. I think there's a lot of good work going on. So before I crown my first place, I am going to give the award for Becca's favourite song. Because I have stopped watching the show, I am going to put it in the favourite song spot. And that is Jujutsu Kaisen Second Open, which is Special by King Gnu. I love it. I have it on repeat. This is my favourite song. Naturally, the OP is solid as well. You can go deep dive into that. There is so much going on. Because I have stopped watching the show, I am not putting it on my main free list. Otherwise, it probably would have won. But it is such a good song. It has to go into my favourite song spot. In first place, we're going to go to Ancient Magus Bride because I have broken this down on the channel. This is done in a very theatrical setting. The song is really good. The amount of effort and hidden meaning in this OP is really clever with the caged nature of Philomela. Obviously, go check out the full breakdown I've done for it. Theatrical nature, then you see the kids all running around Chusei as she's kind of deep diving this mystery, this current arc that's been going on for a little while now. Things are starting to kick off on the show now. Definitely going to give it to Ancient Magus Bride for the OP. Really like it. I thought it was very well handled, nicely animated, very nicely constructed with a hidden meaning going on within the show that sets up the theme of the show very nicely. Let's take a look at the endings. Honourable mention to Megumi no Daigo, which is our firefighting anime. ED is just really nice because it starts with those overhead drone shots of real life Tokyo. As somebody who loves the idea of one day going to Tokyo, it makes me excited to see it. Obviously, this sets up the show because it's all about firefighting in Tokyo. It's nice that it flips between the real and into the anime style halfway through. There's not a lot going on, but it does give you the proper vibe. It sets it up. A lot of this very nice orange going on because it's done at sunset. Mega kudos for getting me excited, even though it is the wind down in the show. It's exciting, and I think it carries the vibe of how important these people's jobs are. Really enjoying the show. It's not spectacular, not putting out amazing animation, but it is doing a solid job of really showing the importance of firefighters. In third place again, we're going to Spy X Family. It's camping the third position. I don't mind the ED, but I don't think it's doing as much as the earlier EDs that we've had from Spy X when it comes to construction and what's going on. Generally, these EDs have a lot of very hidden meanings. This one's just more like a colour explosion, and it doesn't do as much as its predecessors, but it is very nice. It winds the feeling of the show down, often have a very hype OP, and then it goes into a very quiet wind down for the show. Anya, of course, is still your main focal point. There's a lot of beautiful colours going on because it's a child's imagination. I think the ED is a very good fit for the show, and I think it's doing a fantastic job. Now, camping the second place again, going to Miggy and Dali. This is a different vibe entirely. It's actually sadder, softer. The song is nicer because the show is so surreal and spooky. There is actually the hidden sad core of the show that these are two kids who have lost their parent, and I love the animated style. It's very Ancient Magus Bride with the OP, with them both being animated in this very theatrical style. This one is a bit more cartoon book. It looks like you're flicking through a cartoon book and you're following the twins. We've got a nice sepia tone throughout the entire OP as it tells you the story of what happened to the boys as they are searching for answers to who murdered their mother and why. The Miggy and Dali ED, it deserves its second spot. Before we go into the first, we're going to go into my favourite song. It is the Arknights ED, and that is by Rihanna. I love them. It reminds me of Shadow's House every time I hear that voice. It's a really good ED, a sequence of them prepping for war. It doesn't really get a spot on the construction side, but it is really nicely animated, and I think one word comes to mind, Frost Nova. That section where we had the Frost Nova fight, absolutely hairs on my neck was standing up. Very beautifully animated. Perhaps my favourite fight of the season so far. And that's saying a lot when there's a lot of other big shows with big fights going on. That fight carried emotion and the singing and the ice. I got a lot of good things to say about Arknights, but it's a show that I don't really want to recommend to non-Arknights players because I do feel like it would be very convoluted and very confusing. But if you are an Arknights fan, the anime is everything that you need. If you're not a game player, go check out the song because the song is really good. In first position, Dr. Stone. Also got a similar vibe to the Miggy and Darlie entry. Somebody is essentially playing with dust, sand drawings essentially, and they're making scenes of characters from the show. There's a really nice one of Kahaku, which is really, really pretty. It is starting to set the vibe that we're coming to the end of Dr. Stone. I think it carries the closing vibe, it carries the more softer vibe. The Dr. Stone entries have always been really, really good. I love the fact that science is always a core of the shows. You get a lot of formula shown. But with this one, it focuses more on the characters, the people who are actually at the core of the show. Honestly, the Dr. Stone one, getting me really sad now because eventually Dr. Stone is going to come to an end, and I've really enjoyed the show. The ED, I think, it carries a lot of weight of the emotions of the people who have been involved within the show throughout the entire time. I did have a bit of difficulty placing the EDs. I struggled with them. I wanted to put Miggy and Darlie in number 1. I considered the actual emotional weight of the Dr. Stone ED and decided that it carried a heavier weight. Last but not least, let's talk about anime. I started watching tons of shows, but I got very busy, so I had to drop a few things just because I couldn't keep up with my schedule. A lot of hours at the moment. It's hitting me a little bit. I'm getting exhausted. Watching the main shows that I'm very interested in, it does mean that I'm able to make my top 3 easier because these are the shows that I didn't want to drop. These are the shows that I'm very interested in. Honorable mention, I want to talk about Miggy and Darlie. Perhaps got the lowest mouse score out of all of the shows on the list, which I don't think it deserves it. I just think it's so weird. People don't know what to do with it. It is surreal. If you like horror, Junji Ito type stuff, it's got those vibes. It's unsettling. There's a lot of weird imagery going on. A murder mystery. There's something very unnatural going on in the neighborhood. These are 2 boys who are trying to find out what happens to their mum. Their mum has been murdered. They know the location of the murderer, but they don't know why or anything. The show is starting to really ramp up. Lots of answers are starting to come out. But it's weird. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's weird. It's not for the faint heart because it's just so peculiar. There's a lot of very odd sequences in the show. I love the mum, the fake mum who adopts them. She has a habit of swearing as randomly in English. It's hilarious. The animation of, I think it's Darlie. Everyone is saying that it's poorly done and they want to meet the animators of whoever did this. This is done on purpose. That animator knows what they're doing. That animator knows that you're looking at it going, that is so weird. Because this show is supposed to be weird. Now, it is a weird show. It bleeds weird out of its eyes, but it's got a very soft core, as we spoke about in the EDs. It's all about 2 boys who lost their mother. The twins themselves both have 2 very different VAs. People have picked up on the fact they've got 2 different people playing them. They've got different unique personalities. Darlie seems to be the more serious of the 2. Miggy is the one who needs to be pointed in the right direction at times and is the one who had very poor scores on the quiz and falls in love with the girl, and then obviously Darlie's able to use that to his advantage to get Miggy to actually study. Both of them, I think, are fantastic characters. Honourable mention to Miggy and Darlie for being the weirdest show airing this season. 3rd position, again, Spy X Family. Just because, as I've said in my breakdowns, it felt like filler. It felt like the first 5 episodes were filler. The only thing that came out of the first 5 episodes that I really enjoyed, bit where we focused on Yuri doing his surveillance. I loved that to pieces. I loved the vibe. I loved the darkness. I loved the seriousness. When Spy X Family goes serious, I really enjoy it. Sometimes the light-hearted nature of it can be a little bit meandering. The show has started to kick off now, so hopefully it might crawl up into higher positions in the final. Bear in mind that this is just my midway review, so if you were to stop me right now, this is how I feel. This is not going to be the same at the end of the season. So at the end of the season, everything's going to change. It's definitely picking up now because we're going into the arc of the cruise ship where the plot is finally moving. Didn't feel like it deserved to be any higher on my list. I think now that we've gone into the arc, it's going to be a bit more solid. In 2nd position, I'm going to give it to Deranged Detective. My murder farce fill-in, I think. This is a detective story with a very crazy detective who would probably fit quite nicely into Miggy and Darlie universe. He is very strange, but he holds a secret. The dynamics between the police officer and him are very, very nice. We've had a few very short mysteries so far, but it's very interesting to see how he figures them out. He's also not allowed to figure them out, kind of on watch where he's not allowed to do any detective work, hence him trying to get the police officer to be the one to front it. Ron, He definitely reminds me of Suguru from Undead Girl Murder Fast. Fun, it's exciting, and it really does give you a bit more of a Japan feel. Murder Fast anime, that was out of Japan, it was more in Europe. This one's got a vibe because there was the episode at the hot springs. It felt like I was in rural Japan. It felt like I was at the onsen. I really do like Deranged Detective. I'm having a lot of fun with it. If you are missing Murder Fast, definitely go check it out. In first place, it's going to go to the Apothecary Diaries. I am enjoying it so much. You guys are enjoying it. And I do have to take into account what's doing well on the channel. This show is actually returning us to form. We are hitting at least 2K per episode. Amazing for me. That is like triple what I normally do on any of my other videos. It's a very beautiful show. It's gorgeous to look at. It sounds amazing. The characters are very well developed. There are a lot of very nice little mysteries going on. The world building is very good. The main character is lovable. All of the aspects of the show are coming together to give me a very interesting watch every single episode. Every episode, I am excited to see where we're going to go next. We have entered the garden party bit. Something is probably going to go down. I've got the vibe that something's about to happen and I'm very excited. I am also recording this 2 hours before I go into that release. Very excited to see what this week brings. The Kevin Penkin aspect as well. I love him. His music is beautiful. His world building is beautiful. This show is just got heart. I am hoping that they start to drag the things out a little bit. I think the pacing on the show could slow down a little bit. Overall, it's the show that's doing the best, the show that's giving me the most excitement right now. I'm very happy to put it number one in the Midways because it's just such an enjoyable ride. I enjoy every single aspect of it. I am hoping for more. I want to know what's going to happen. I want to see what the secrets are within the show. The show is giving us a lot of nice little hints and sneak peeks at what's gonna come. Apothecary Diaries is my favourite show of the Midways. So thank you guys so much. I will apologise to how bad I sound. I am struggling, but I needed to get this video done. I've got 3 videos to do today and my throat is absolutely killing me. Please do bear with me as I try to get back on my feet. It's always irritating when I get sick because my voice is always affected. Thank you so much. I really hope you have enjoyed my Midway review. Let me know down below your top 3 of the Midways so far. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate the amount of support this season. It's really made me feel better. So I might feel rubbish right now. Knowing you guys are enjoying my work, it makes me so happy. So thank you guys so much. I will see you guys soon. Let me know your favourite movie franchise in the comments below. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.